Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 15 of Shooting the Ship with Jim. I am the host, Jim, as you can tell, and with me this week is my very special guest, Juno, aka Juno 2000. How you doing today, buddy?
Doing pretty good.
Outstanding. I'm so happy that you are finally on here. I've been wanting to have you on here for quite some time. Uh, You are one of the early people that I started following on YouTube, along with a couple of your cohorts. Um, and I also, with your partner in crime, Texas, I've done a lot of content with him. So Junexus lives on, and it's just a pleasure having you here. So thank you so much for being here, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, Jim.
Before we get into it, I just want to acknowledge some people in the chat, and we'll start off. We got Greg Brewer is here. Hey, Greg, how you doing today, buddy? Thank you for being here. We've got Chester. Of course, Chester's here. Chester's a OG. He's always around saying hello to everybody. And speaking of Texas, the other half of Junexus, Texas Hardcore is in the house. Thank you so much for being here, Texas.
Okay.
Words and pictures, as always. Thank you so much for being here. And Butts Unplugged from the UK. Thank you so much, mate, for being here. I appreciate it. Melina Long is here as always. Thank you, Melina. Chad Everett is dead 13 years ago this week. Well, rest in peace. And we're gonna get into a couple of other people that passed away this week, unfortunately. But thank you so much, Melina, for being here as always. And we've got Collector Adam from the UK is here. Thank you so much, Adam, for being here. I really appreciate it as always. Okay, yeah. Before we get into it, yeah, I do want to acknowledge real quickly. This week's been a rough one, especially for 80s icons. If you grew up at a certain period of time, or you just your parents did or something, there were some pretty big people in the 80s and beyond that passed this week. I'm talking about Hulk Hogan, Malcolm Jamal Warner from The Cosby Show, who played Theo, and most importantly, in my eyes, anyways, Ozzy Osbourne. Rest in peace to all three. And again, gone, never forgotten. I know some people have mixed opinions on all three, probably. Okay. But I don't care. I was never a wrestling fan. I know Juno, my buddy here, was a big wrestling fan. But I will acknowledge that Hulk Hogan was an icon in every sense of the word. He really was. He was larger than life back in the day. Um, the Cosby Show was a huge thing growing up, in the 80s and 90s before Bill Cosby tarnished that legacy with what his bullshit became. But Malcolm Jamal Warner as Theo was fantastic on that show. He really was. And Ozzy Osbourne, what more needs to be said about the Prince of Darkness? I was lucky enough to see Ozzy live 7 times, I believe, through the years. And he always put on a fantastic show. So, again, and I know a lot of people never got into Ozzy's music, but then they discovered him through that TV show, The Osbournes, on MTV back in the day, which, again, was just a goofball show. But Ozzy Osbourne, Prince of Darkness, rest in peace. That guy was a legend. And just hopefully all three are just in a better place. And we'll leave it at that. Do you have anything to add to that, Juno?
Just wanted to say rest in peace to all three of them. Like, I know I have issues with Hulk Hogan, but I still thanked him for making us watch wrestling because he was the one that helped everybody to watch wrestling. If it wasn't him for him, wrestling would have been not a thing.
Yeah, more or less. He was one of the pioneers for sure.
And
As far as like the televised stuff, I know wrestling started way earlier than that, but yeah, he was one of the OGs. And I'm sorry to
yep.
interrupt. Go ahead.
No, it's just like wanted to rest in peace all three of them, and they are gonna still be in our memories. It's just saddened that we lost three legends this week.
Yeah, yeah, well said. And we also, real quickly, we've got Mike from Mike's DVD and Blu-ray collection is in the house. Hey, Mike, how you doing? And me and Mike were actually discussing this off air. We're thinking about putting together a possible tribute live stream for Ozzy in the very near future. So be on the lookout for that. Hopefully, we can put that together if anybody is interested in that. Okay, so people are just saying hello. Mike's saying, "Hey, it's weird that you're up so early, but because you're all the way on the West Coast, so I appreciate you being here before lunchtime. And Alan is here. Hello, Alan, all the way from the UK. Thank you so much for being here, Alan. Always appreciate your support, my friend. Okay, so let's get to the actual show here, Juno. How'd you get your start on YouTube, my friend?
Pretty much, I started like 9 years ago, back in December 2016. That's when I first time got my channel started. First, I was not like having like a channel at first when I was like a teenager because I would borrow my mom's phone and watch YouTube. But as soon as 2016 December Christmas happened, I got my own phone, made my account, started subscribing to many channels and delivering a lot of comments. And then a couple years go by, people started subscribing to my channel because some people like my comments in some videos. And then a few years later, I would meet some people who we would not talk about, but
Yeah,
I
enough said
thank
on
them
that, but
for
yeah.
letting them be on their channel and helping me out with me creating content, especially when I first started with content of doing many shorts of videos of movies that I have and thoughts that I talk about new movies. And then one day I was recommended to do recording full length videos. And I started doing like 4 minutes and then 10 minutes and even like 30 minutes videos, especially when I would rant on movies that would go on for an hour or two.
Yeah.
And that would be a blast.
Yeah, you've been known to rant a little bit, and we're going to give you ample opportunity for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But yeah, I
awesome.
have like many reviews on my channel that I just started reviewing because I've been watching a lot of people that review videos.
Mhm.
And like the one channel I do like is OCP Communication because I like his videos from back in the day and now and stuff.
Mhm.
That's what made me inspire because I like to rant, especially if give you my opinion about it, straightforward,
Right.
unfiltered, and
Yeah.
uncensored and uncooked.
Yeah, there's no gray area when it comes to your reviews, man. A blind person can see where you're getting,
Yeah,
what
I'm the
you're getting
DVD uncensored version, not the TV 14.
That's awesome. Real quick, because I just realized something here, Alan. How dare you? I'm Irish. Forgive me, Alan. I'm a dumb American. To me, it's my European friend, Alan. And I also want to acknowledge a couple other European friends. Dan, thank you so much for being here. Dan, you're awesome, buddy, from Talking Movies Western for Life podcast. Says, hi, guys. And I know he's a huge wrestling fan. I'm a huge WWE guy, and Hogan was a huge part of my childhood. And then again, in my teens with the NWO. Unfortunately, Hogan's movies are not high in quality, but I've got a real soft spot for No Holds Barred. Hey, I get it. Again, I've never been a wrestling fan. I love him as Thunder Lips in Rocky 3, even though I'm not a Rocky 3 guy, but that whole deal with Thunder Lips I thought was hilarious. I still love that. So, but thank you, Dan, for being here. And Daniel, all the way from the Netherlands, is here. He's one of my very first guests. So thank you so much, Daniel, for being here. Dan also wants to say it's nice to meet you, Juno. You can't go wrong with talking about movies, honestly and from the heart. And I love your Jeff Hardy figure on the wall. I'm a big Hardy Boys fan. See,
Yeah,
I would
he's
not
right
have
there.
known what the hell that was. So that's awesome. And yeah, I misspoke. My buddy Dan is not from the Netherlands. He's from Sweden. I'm sorry, Dan. I got all you European guys, you're all just making me look like an idiot this week, but it's all good. So I appreciate all of you. I really do. Okay, Juno. Here's a question I ask everybody. And again, you're younger than most, so don't worry about this answer. It could be anything. But What is the earliest movie you remember seeing at a theater, at a cinema?
One of the earliest movies that I saw at a theater.
Yeah.
It was it was Hulk 2003.
It was what?
It was Hulk 2003.
Oh, the
Marvel.
Eric Banya one.
Derek Banya.
Ang
Yep.
Lee. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That was the Hulk 2003 was my first theater movie to watch.
And you were what, like 3 or 4?
3.
Okay, yeah, you were a little guy.
Because 2003 was one of my favorite years because I also got to see like my second favorite movie, which my second watch was Freddy vs. Jason.
That explains a lot. Seeing that movie.
I would have loved to have seen that as the first movie, but
your poor warped little brain, man. It's a 3-year-old.
like to me that was my Master Universe movie to watch.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. And that movie's not scary, although to a 3-year-old, I'm sure it was terrifying. But do you have an earliest movie that you remember like renting on DVD or Blu-ray
Uh, the
or
most
VHS?
earliest DVD that I rented from a Blockbuster was back in 2002, and it was D. Snyder's Strangeland. Yeah, that my dad, because I went with my dad, and he just grabbed some random movie, and usually I watch a lot of stuff with him, but that was like one of the movies he put on, and I watched it with him, and I was entertained by the movie.
I haven't seen that movie since it came out on DVD
Yeah,
or actually VHS way back when. I mean, that's an oldie. That came out when? 90s?
yeah, early like late '90s, like one of those artisan DVDs because it has
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
artisan
yeah,
logo.
yeah. Whenever I see Artisan, I always think of that shitty Blair Witch movie. I'm sorry, I fucking hate that movie. But that is the movie that Artisan built, or the other way around, rather. Kind of like New Line is the house that Freddy built.
Yeah,
So, but Simplex says Transformers the animated movie was his first film in the cinema. And Dan says Hulk 2003 was groundbreaking for the effects. It still looks good. Eric was great. Eric Banya was great as Bruce. Yeah, I agree.
I
I
yeah
just I just don't like the movie that much because Ang Lee turned it into an art film instead of a superhero film. I prefer
yeah
the other one with Edward Norton.
Edward Norton. Yeah, the 2003 movie. I don't technically hate the movie. Like they could have taken some like 20 minutes out because there's like some dead air spots in the movie that could have been cut out.
Yeah.
Like especially like where they're transferring him into a big tank, and it's like almost 5 minutes of a bullshit scene where you just carry him out to a desert field
Right.
to an army base. Like I would have preferred to just see more Hulk action.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, it's more of an art film than an action
Yep.
film. That's the only. But Dan is right about Eric Banya was quite good and the effects were good for the time. Alan says, if Freddy was fighting Jason in my back garden, I'd pull the curtains. Oh, Johnny's here. Hey, Johnny, how you doing, buddy?
Johnny.
Hello, Jim. I hope your schlong is doing well. And Juno, I hope your acting career picks up soon. If anybody's wondering about the schlong comment, it used to be a running joke that a lot of the live streams that Juno used to be on, I'd be sitting out here in this garage, and it'd be in the middle of the winter, it'd freezing my ass off. So it became a running joke that I was, freezing my balls off, and Johnny's just taking that joke and run with it for months. So it never gets old, buddy. Let's just see if we got it. Oh, look at here. Barry is here now. Barry is from the UK. So, hey, Barry, how you doing? Sansei Seagal is now live. Yeah. Seagal sucks, dude. Sorry. But you like Seagal, so. Okay, we're all good on that. Yeah, I like to fuck with Barry. We like to screw stuff. Okay. my good buddy here, Juno, he is always willing to share his opinion about certain movies, and a couple of his movies, or if you follow his channel, you'll see he's ranted on a couple of different subjects. But one of my favorites was how he always rants about Halloween Ends. Okay, and there's also a couple of people that he likes to rant about in the entertainment industry. One of which is Don Mancini, who is part of the creative trust behind the Chucky franchise, and Harvey Weinstein, who he affectionately likes to call Harvey Shitstain. So, bearing that in mind, we're going to play our first game of the day. Okay, Juno, this is Would You Rather. And this is the first time we're doing this on my channel, so you're breaking in this cherry for this one, okay? Would you rather? Would you rather watch Halloween Ends on a loop for a 24-hour period, or pass a kidney stone the size of a Lego? And if you don't know what casting a kidney stone is, it comes out the head of your dick. So, you want to pass a Lego, or do you want to watch Halloween Ends for 24 hours straight? Which one is less painful to you? And I love the fact that you have to think about it.
Because kidney stone sounds similar to choppy to pee. Because it's all painful.
Yeah.
I would buy.
So you're gonna go with Halloween Ends?
Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to go Halloween Ends because I think the kidney stone is too painful. It's like,
I love the way that you have to think really hard about it. Okay, this one's easier, I think. Would you rather have dinner with Don Mancini, aka Don Fettuccine, or Harvey Shitstain? Now, part of this dinner is you can tell them exactly how you feel about them, and they are forced to listen. So keep that in mind. Who you having dinner with?
Don Fettuccine.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. Okay. I was thinking about this last night, and I told my wife, I was like, the only way that I could get Juno to watch Halloween Ends again is if it's going to cause excruciating pain if he doesn't. So that's what made me think of the Lego thing.
Oh gosh.
Okay, contrary to popular belief, my first movie was not Al Jolson and the Jazz Singer. Hey, Eric's here. How's it going, buddy? I've passed a 10 millimeter kidney stone when the average is 2 to 3 millimeters. Give me Halloween Ends. Yeah, I'm sure. That does not sound pleasant at all. So, yeah. And Greg's like, yeah, about the same for him. And Daniel, am I the only one who actually likes Halloween Ends? Yes. Yes, you are. Okay. We're going to play another game here, and this one's more of a serious game. Not really serious. None of the games on this show are serious, okay? But, yeah, I had to do that Would You Rather, because you gave me exactly the reaction I knew you would, so that's awesome. But we are going to play a game that I always play every time. Top 3. And what this is I am going to ask you your top 3 of certain genres, and it'll be random, and it's just off the top of your head. So, there are no right or wrong answers. Nobody's going to hold it against you if you forget something, okay? And I always try to tailor these per my guests, okay? So the first one is top 3 comedies. Go.
Top 3 comedies.
Yeah.
Cheech and Chong's next movie.
That makes me
Me,
so
Myself, and Irene. And the last good one would have to be Superbad.
Nice. Cheech and Chong's next movie makes me very happy, Juno. Mexican Americans don't like to go to movies. Never mind. Okay. Top 3 Sylvester Stallone movies that do not have Rocky or Rambo in the title.
Top 3 Stallone flicks. ICU or Detox, whatever it's called. ICU, that's the first
Yeah.
one. Second, I would go with The Expendables. And then third would be Copland.
Nice. Copland's a great movie. Great cast. Top 3 Bruce Willis movies that do not have Die Hard in the title.
Top 3 Bruce Willis movies, I would go with The Jackal. I like him as a villain in that one.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
a very underrated one.
Yes.
And the next movie I would go with
Excuse me, my
is
allergies.
Mercury Rising.
Oh, another deep cut.
That's another good one. It's from Universal as well. And the third one I would go with Hostage.
Nice.
I like
Another
Hostage.
deep cut. You're going with some deep cuts here, man.
Hostage. Yeah, that's another one I got from Blockbuster with my dad, and
I saw that
rewatched
one
that
at
one.
the cinema. Hostage. That was a good movie. I enjoyed that movie a lot. Okay, top 3 Jean-Claude Van Damme films.
JCVD is Kickboxer, Bloodsport, and Hard Target.
Yeah, I was gonna say you better mention Hard Target.
Yeah, John motherfucking Woo.
Boudreaux. I hope I didn't hurt your feelings. Okay, top 3 remakes. Because I know you're like me. Generally, you don't like remakes, but there are some that you do like. So, top
Yep.
3 remakes.
Top 10 remakes, I would go with the Friday the 13th, 2009,
That's solid.
where fucking Trent gets killed. The second one would be the 2019 Child's Play remake. I might be alone with that one, but
No,
I'd rather watch that over the fucking Chucky shit show.
no, that movie's got some fans. I haven't seen it yet, so I have no opinion.
Yeah. But yeah, Child's Play 2019, and then third would be the Hills of Ice remake.
Nice. Now I know people before you start typing in the comments and start screaming, "What about The Thing? What about The Fly? What about all this stuff?" Remember, to Juno, those movies aren't necessarily remakes. Okay, he's a young guy. He's seen those movies. He loves those movies. But when he thinks remakes, he thinks about these newer remakes that suck. So, good answers. Okay.
Yep.
But here's the real one: top 3 horror films.
Top 3
Yep.
would have. Yeah, I love horror movies.
Yeah, I know you
do. I would have to go. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with The Beyond.
Nice.
Olivia Fulci's classic.
Yeah,
That's a good
Fulci.
fucking
Nice.
movie. Second, I would have to go. I'm gonna go with Halloween 2.
You talking about the original Halloween 2 or the Rob Zombie classic? Because
The
I know
original,
you ain't
not
talking about Halloween Kills.
not that piece of shit movie.
Okay, just making sure we're clear.
not the shit stain one. But yeah, Halloween 2 is number 2, and number 3, I'm gonna go with The Exorcist.
Nice.
The original.
Nice. Okay, see, that wasn't too painful. Now was. Okay,
Nope.
real quickly before we continue, I want to jump in because I see that there's some more people here that have popped into the audience. Got Sonny Barger. Hey, Sonny, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Adam says his top 3 comedies, or he says, great choices for the top 3 there, Juno. Me, Myself, and Irene and Superbad are both awesome. And Sean agrees. And Sean, I know, also liked the Child's Play remake. I don't know if he liked it as much as you, but he did say that it was decent.
Yep, it
So,
was good.
and let's see here. Barry says Last Boy Scout is one of Bruce's best. Yeah, Last Boy Scout's a lot of fun. Alan says for Willis, Unbreakable, Last Boy Scout, and Blind Date. Surprised nobody mentioned Pulp Fiction. Barry says John Clyde would be Kickboxer, Bloodsport, and Double Impact. Daniel says Maniac from 2012 is so good. Yes, it is, with Elijah Wood. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I seen Elijah Wood with that one.
That movie's creepy as hell, man. It's really good. Let's see here. Greg says Lionheart is a great JCVD film. Yes, it is. And Barry agrees. Chester says my top 3 remakes would be The Thing, The Fly, and The Crazies. Yeah, I prefer all 3 of those remakes to the original properties that they're based on, including the Crazies. And I'm a Romero guy, but the remake of The Crazies is definitely better. I'm sorry, it just is. The Crazies, Maniac, and Friday the 13th. Just want to make sure I didn't. Greg is also a fan of the Hills Have Eyes remake, and again, same thing. I think that is a better movie than the original that it's based on. And I'm a Wes Craven guy, but
yeah, I'm in the same situation because, I'll admit the original movie, it does have its impact, but it's just I kind of grew more with the remake first because that's the first thing I watched.
Daniel mentions Time Cop. Yeah, Time Cop's a lot of fun. Favorite comedy zombie film, Cooties. Yes, also with Elijah Wood. That movie's a lot of fun. Okay, and then just people saying hello. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay. We're going to give Juno, who is well known to be a rant master, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to rant and bitch about any movie you want. Uninterrupted, and you can just go all out. But before you begin, I will put a little warning out to anybody listening live or on replay. There's sure to be some foul language for but you know what? We're all adults here, or at least we pretend to be. So if anything offends you that quickly, this would be the time to tune out. I will not be upset or offended. You could always come back and check it out or just skip over this part. But right now, I'm going to give my good friend Juno here 30 seconds to rant and bitch about any movie he would like. So the floor is yours, sir. Go.
Fuck Halloween 5. One of the boring piece of fucking shit I have ever fucking seen. Dominic Ardern jerk off. Fucked up that movie. And even Don Pleasant even found that motherfucker as an asshole. And didn't like his ass. And even when you read the script, he's like, what the hell is this piece of shit? And that movie is a fucking horse's ass out of a manure piece of shit. And the movie doesn't make any fucking sense where they get this Men in Black dude from the fucking Jalo. And they didn't even know who the fuck that was. Okay, and Michael Myers fucking cries.
Like, what the fuck? 45 seconds and he's still going. That's okay. You're going to get a couple more of those. But that's good. I'm glad that you brought that piece of shit up, and especially the Men in Black guy, as you put him. Because I was like, I remember seeing that back in the day, you know, in a packed theater going, who the fuck is that? What the fuck is going on? I mean, yeah, that movie is just ridiculously bad. So good for you. Okay. Real quick here, I want to jump back into the comments. But yeah, very good. Very well done, sir. Stacy's there. Hey, how's it going, Stacy? Would you rather see a movie about an extra that goes crazy and kills a whole movie set, or a projectionist that kills people after they change over from projection to digital? Excuse me. That's actually a good question, because I used to be a projectionist, And yeah, that's a lost art. It is digital now, for the most part. I'd say 99% of the screens are digital, or they just download the movies at this point. It's not even like a disc. It's just they download the shit. But yeah, I don't know. Would you like to see either of those movies, Gino? Where an extra kills everybody on the movie set, or projectionist kills a theater full of people?
Probably projectionist. Yeah, that sounds really awesome.
Phantom of the projection booth. It writes itself. Thank you so much, Stacy. I appreciate it. Sean says, "Oh, I'd love to write the latter." There you go, Sean. Now you got a script idea, buddy. Let's see here real quickly. Love Jeffrey Combs and Would You Rather? Yeah, I love Jeffrey Combs and everything. He's great. And Barry agrees. Halloween 5 is complete shit. Yeah, it is. It's just fucking horrible. Okay, we're gonna play our next game, and it's one that I do just about every week. Overrated, underrated. Where I want you to come up with a movie that by and large people love, that you just think is overrated as hell, and explain why. Okay, and the flip side to that, a movie that by and large people say, you know what, that movie sucks, and you're like, fuck you, you're wrong. And by that I mean both of them have to be major releases, so they can't be like little cult movies that nobody's seen. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you can think about it unless you already know what you want.
Overrated.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with The Godfather.
Okay, and why?
Because I cannot get into that story, and I'm not a big Francis Ford Coppola fan, because there's issues that I have with him. But like, I like a few of his movies, but that one is not one of my favorites because everybody overhypes it. Like, it's one of the greatest mob movies, but to me, I feel like there's better mob movies out there.
Yeah, it's more of a character study than a mafia movie at this point. No, that's fair enough. And again, I think that's a generational thing, because again, I grew up with that shit. You know, that movie was. I can't remember a time in my life where it wasn't a thing. Okay, and like you, yeah, it was overhyped to me. And when I first saw it, I didn't like it either that much. I mean, I liked it, but I didn't love it. You know, through the years, I've grown to love it. But I would still rather watch Casino or especially Goodfellas. So
yeah, Goodfellas.
Okay, what about overrated? I mean, underrated. I'm sorry.
Oh, underrated.
Yeah. Well, besides Freddy versus Jason, because we know how much you love that.
Well, the one movie I think is underrated is Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman. I know that movie because the movie gets shit on, but I enjoyed its action-ish fucking badassness, like something out of The Mummy. That's why I enjoyed it. It just feels like a badass movie with Hugh Jackman kicking ass, not overdoing the fucking Wolverine over and over again.
But yeah, it makes sense that you thought that it was like The Mummy because it's the same guy.
Yeah, Stephen Sommers. And he also did Deep Rising, which is...
Deep Rising is my favorite film from that guy. I fucking love that movie. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Van Helsing, but I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. Although I will admit that I was extremely upset with it the first time I saw it, because I was managing that theater when it came out, and we had a midnight showing the night before, you know, like a sneak preview. So, and I was jazzed for that movie. I really was. But then when I saw that it was PG-13, that kind of made me worry a little bit. And then when I saw the movie, again, I liked it, but I didn't love it. And my problem with that movie was the Dracula character to me wasn't that compelling. The Frankenstein character wasn't really Frankenstein. I don't know what the hell it was. And the werewolf character was basically a throwaway. So it was like, you know, they spent more time with him and Kate Beckinsale than they did with the monsters. And that was my problem, you know, but to each his own. And again, you saw it when you were younger, so I guarantee you fucking loved it. So it's all good. All right. Very good. All right, let's get back into the question or into the comments really quickly, because I see people are going crazy here. I know a Big Jim McBob. Okay, Steve Marino. Thank you so much for being here. William was great in the OG mob film Gotti. William Forsythe. He's talking. He's talking about. Okay, overrated. Alien Romulus. You know what? I like that movie, but I kind of agree with that. Because to me, that movie starts off great, and then it turns into like a Easter egg hunt for fanboys.
And there's like fan service in that one.
Yep, and that's where the movie kind of falls apart for me. But hey, Z's in the house. How you doing, buddy? Overrated. Halloween 2018. Nice.
Oh gosh.
Big Jim McBob was a yeast farmer. Okay. I don't even want to know where that goes. I don't want to know. Oh my God. Sean agrees with you about The Godfather.
Yeah.
And speaking of Sean, since he's in the house, movie assault Sean, that is. And I'm a whore. I will pimp out the next episode of Talking Movies with Sean, Kenny, and Jim, which will be on Sean's channel at Movie Assault or at the Talking Movies 2024 channel. That will be Tuesday night, the 29th. This coming Tuesday night, I should say. And that will be at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And the subject will be John Hughes films. And our very special guest will be Lori, who is Sean's better half. And that will be the first time I meet Sean's wife, and I'm really looking forward to it. So hopefully some of you can join us that night. And if you're a John Hughes fan, it's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you, Sean. Stacy, if Bird on a Wire was made without Mel Gibson and Goldie Hawn, who are the two stars you would cast instead? I haven't seen that movie in so long, I couldn't tell you a thing about it. Other than the fact that those two starred in it together and John Badham directed it. That's all I remember about that movie. How about you? Have you ever seen it?
No, I never seen. I only seen like the cover of the movie.
Okay, yeah, exactly. The cover definitely. I remember the cover more than the actual movie. So, okay, Daniel says overrated. Sinners. I loved Sinners. I thought Sinners was great, but I can understand why a lot of people would say that. And again, most of the people that I have talked to that didn't like Sinners are from Europe. And I think a lot of it has to do with the American, with the blues music and the South and everything else. Maybe it resonates a little more, but I could be way off on that. So huge Jackman. Yeah, there you go. Thief with James Caan is underrated. Thief is a awesome movie, Sonny.
Badass.
Regarding the extra and the projectionist, they already exist, and they're going to EFM next year. I'm trying to decide which one I want to see first. Both are copyright protected and have good. Hold on, it's a long comment. Lawyers and all the projects, I would come up with my own ideas and write them rather than take these ones. Well, see, that's why I didn't hear about either of those, Stacy. So you're throwing these things out into the ether, and you're trying to get poor Sean sued. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is very overrated. I avoided that for 25 years as it didn't look like my cup of tea. And I saw it the other night, and it was shite. I love Crouching Tiger. So, it's each his own. Have you ever seen that one?
Never seen that one. I heard that Chow Yun Fat's in that one.
Yeah, Chow Yun Fat, Michelle Yeoh.
Mm-hmm.
Underrated. Too Fast, Too Furious. The only one I like, really. I have no opinion on that, Z, because I've never seen it. I only saw the first Fast and the Furious movie, didn't like it, never bothered with any of the other ones.
Yeah, Too Fast, Too Furious was decent.
Steve Areno says, everything new is overrated, in my opinion. Okay, and that leads me into rant number 2 for Juno. And this one I'm going to leave untimed, okay? You can go as long as you want, all right? But I'm interested in what you think, because as I said earlier, you're by far the youngest guest I've had on the show so far, okay? but you tend to like older movies more than newer ones, okay? And that's been the reoccurring theme on this show. Every time I ask somebody, excuse me, these damn allergies are killing me. Every time I ask someone how they feel about newer movies, they basically come up with the ideas of they suck. And I think you're kind of in that same boat. So I'm going to give you a chance to explain why you think modern movies suck, by and large, what the reasons are. Okay? And you can go as far as you want. So the floor is yours again, sir.
Why do I think modern movies suck? Monkey ass.
And there are exceptions, of course. So.
Oh yeah, like Sinners. I'll admit, like when you were mentioning Sinners, that's a good one.
Novocaine was great.
Novocaine and Final Destination.
Just leaving those.
Yeah, just leaving those out. Those are the decent ones from this year. But so far, this year's like having like shitty modern movies, especially countless remakes and reboots. Like, what the fuck are they even doing with those movies? Like, all of this is just profit and just waste of money and waste of people's time because you're just saying it's just presenting the same fucking story, and they want to like fool people's minds saying that we want to show something new, but it turns out to be the same fucking movie, and you're not doing something new, and they say it's ignoring the sequels, but they're not because there's fucking fan servicing moments from great films that we remembered. Like we meant, like when Alien Romulus was mentioned, there's countless fucking callbacks to the original, especially the iconic "Get away from her, you bitch!" Like that line, that kind of pissed me off because that was actually an iconic line.
Yeah.
Only to hear it in this one, it just feels like watered down and modernized, like not not well executed. It's piss poorly, and and they want to just make a lot of movies just feel dumbed down, monotone, and just boring and dull as shit at times too. Especially when they want to do the A24 elevated bullshit.
Yeah.
Especially, I have issues with the director that did those last two movies he did that were shitty. Ari Aster, or
yeah, he's got a new movie out this week.
Yeah,
that nobody will probably go see.
Yeah, because everybody was so tired of that last one he did. That 3 hour torture of Go Was Afraid.
I still haven't seen it.
It's like almost 3.5 hours. Like, holy shit.
Now, you were just saying that everything is remade and this and that and the other. Now, before we started, you were telling me your thoughts on a brand new movie that was just released a couple of days ago, and it exactly would fit into this category. And that film was
Happy Gilmore 2.
And that movie is
a pile of dog shit.
Tell the nice audience what you were telling me about that movie, why it sucks so bad. You don't have to go into spoilers or anything. Just,
Well, the movie sucks because there's a lot of reasons. Because it's just cash grab sequel where how many cameos are we going to fit in this motherfucking movie and not have a story? And it's just like a very generic story. And all in all, it's just very dumbed down. You barely have any jokes until like one moment it happens, but it just gets thrown out, and you're putting another cameo and another cameo, and they're just there for a minute or two and they're gone.
Yeah.
And it's up there with those movies that people did not like those sequels. Like, for example, like Dumb and Dumber 2, people hated that piece of shit. Zoolander 2, they hated that piece of shit. Speaking of Ben Stiller, he's in this piece of shit too.
Yeah, playing the same character.
Yeah, it's just, and they do stupid callbacks like to this movie where you get flashbacks footage of the original movie, which kind of pisses you off. Like, well, you could just rather watch the original movie if you're watching footage of the original film. And it's like it. Yep.
Wait a minute. before while I'm thinking about it, because you just brought up they show flashbacks of the original movie and it pissed you off, and you were like, why don't you just watch the original movie? Okay, my friend, keeping that in mind, explain to me then why you prefer the Hills Have Eyes original part 2 to the original Hills Have Eyes, because that movie is literally 50% flashbacks, including one from the fucking dog. And when you did that list of rankings, you had that one ranked higher. And I even went in the comments and like, Juno, I appreciate your opinion and I respect it, but are you fucking high? So
Yeah,
why does it work in that movie and not Happy Gilmore?
I don't know, because I think it's more watchable because I like Michael Berryman riding a dirt bike. It looks fucking cool. I think if the movie was fixed, I think the movie should have been centered around that more instead of the fucking flashback that did hold most of the movie.
Yeah, when you brought that up, man, I immediately thought of that old video where you did that, and I was thinking,
like many sequels
from the dog.
Like many sequels are doing that. Even the Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 did that shit.
Oh, I know. That's the reason why. I mean, again, I'm not a huge fan of the first one, but it's better than that second one because, again, the second one's half a movie. It's just the other half of it's, the Boogeyman too. Same thing, and I'm talking like old school Boogeyman and Boogeyman 2, not the new stuff, Okay, off topic, but yeah, I couldn't agree more with you about modern movies. I mean, there are exceptions.
Yeah, but it's just getting tiresome. Like, because also with Happy Gilmore, you're getting like that stupid shit where they become losers or they're depressed. Like, I hate when they fucked over characters like that because it's just like, what the fuck are you bringing them back if you're just gonna make them all depressed? Like, that's what pisses off audience.
Yeah.
You're just making them want to watch the original, like not waste time with this piece of shit of a sequel.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Okay, real quickly before I get into my next topic, let's just check the comments real quickly. Stacy says, I love the scene in The Departed where Jack Nicholson tells Matt Damon's characters it's time to start earning. Hell yeah. And Z says, because in this country, it don't add inches to your dick. You get a life sentence for it. Yep, great scene with the Chinese. Sonny Bar. Oh, this is great. First buddy cop was Freebie and the Bean with James Caan and Alan Arkin. Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
Have you ever heard of that movie?
I have not heard of it. I want to check that out because I like those two actors.
It's available on Look, believe it or not, because I went on Look specifically to see if they had that movie, and they do. And I am telling you, brother, there is no way in hell they can make that movie today, man. That is one of the most to today's audience. That is going to be one of the most offensive movies ever made.
Yeah.
Look at the fucking title. Freebie and the Bean, and it's about two cops. One's named Freebie, the other one's nickname is Bean. Can you understand where Bean comes from?
Yep.
Mexican Americans.
Beaners. I like to eat beans.
Yeah. But yeah, Freebie and the Bean. I haven't seen that movie in years, so I don't know if it still holds up, but it's pretty damn funny. Okay. Chester agrees. Underrated, Man of Steel. Yeah, I like Man of Steel until the end, and then it gets a little redundant, but it's decent. Z says, Uncle Buck, favorite John Hughes. So much heart in that movie. That is my buddy Kenny's favorite movie of all time, Z. So I'm sure he will be singing the praises of that endlessly on that show. Chester says, underrated, Superman Returns. Yeah, where Superman is a deadbeat dad, comes back after 5 years. Oh, now here's a good one. Underrated buddy cop film would be Alien Nation. Have you ever seen that one?
Oh, I haven't seen Alien Nation.
That movie's great. James Caan and Mandy Patinkin. And Mandy Patinkin's an alien. And yeah, it's a buddy cop movie. It's awesome.
Yeah, I have seen the movie Dead Heat with Trent Williams. You ever seen that one?
Yeah, I saw that one at the theater, believe it or not. Alien Nation, fantastic, forgotten movie, never gets loved. Yeah, they even made a TV show out of that movie. But yeah, they could do a remake of Alien Nation, and I wouldn't be upset. if they did it right. Let's see here. John Candy is the Mog was funny. I'm assuming you're thinking about Spaceballs. He's half man, half dog. He's a Mog. Barf. Gregory's Girl underrated. Hell yeah. Mike's here. He says, I like Sinners. My wife hated it. I don't think she understood the little things. She better not be in the room. She'll come up behind you and smack you with a pan for that kind of comment, Mike. I watched a couple of reviews for Sinner and fuck that nonsense. Again, I enjoyed it. I really did. But again, a lot of people are saying that it's a ripoff of From Dusk Till Dawn. And to me, it is not. The only reason why it's compared to Dusk Till Dawn is because half the movie is one thing and then it turns into a vampire movie. But to me, it's not a vampire movie. The vampires just happens to be part of it. To me, it's all about. To me, it's more of a remake of the old movie Crossroads with Ralph Macchio, if that makes sense. Where the devil went down to Georgia, where the guy sells his soul to the devil, and they have to play a guitar battle to get his soul back. It's similar to this. The vampires hear the music and they're attracted to it, and they want that music for themselves. That's the only reason why the vampires are involved.
The vampires, they come out as more like demons in this one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, if it was strictly a vampire movie, I would agree that it's like drawn out and overrated. But to me, it's about so much more than that. So, but not everybody's, everybody agrees to disagree. Breakfast Club, favorite. Yep. Love the Breakfast Club. Absolutely. That's my high school movie. I love Thief with James Caan. Absolutely. And Sonny agrees with Texas about Gregory's Girl. Yeah, it is. It's a very good movie. To me, Sinners was just not a very good movie. It was a worse version of From Dusk Till Dawn. That's what I was just saying. And again, I understand that comparison. I do. Texas says he prefers the Alien Nation series to the movie. And yeah, I used to watch that series as well. Not directed by John Hughes, but produced by him, The Great Outdoors. I love The Great Outdoors. That movie's funny as hell. Sean never saw the series Texas. Z, can't blame you on that, Jim. Try to find it, Sean. I liked it a lot. Okay, they suck because there are certain things being forced down the viewer's throat that serve absolutely no purpose. See, but again, that's not really what it is. That's like this. Okay, not to be off topic, but it's similar. A lot of fanboys are screaming about the Fantastic Four movie coming out because the Silver Surfer is a female. And a couple of weeks ago, a lot of the people on certain fringes of society were screaming about Superman, calling it woke because James Gunn made a comment about how his story was about immigrants and this and that and the other. And that shit is canon. That's not woke. Okay? Silver Surfer, there was two versions in the comics. One was a male, one was a female. And Superman is literally a fucking alien who crashed to Earth and never got a green card. So he is the epitome of an illegal alien. And unfortunately, a lot of people on certain fringes are taking some of the context and some of the ideas in Sinners, and they're saying the same thing. That it's trying to push this anti-white narrative or this pro-black narrative or this and that. And again, it's got nothing to do with that shit. Nothing. It's all about music, and yeah, there is some shit about the Klan and this and that. But again, look in history. It's fucking fact. Okay, so that's not, to me, that's not pushing anything down anybody's throat. That's just, it's canon when it comes to the superhero shit, and it's just history when it comes to the other. So you can determine whether or not you want to watch it or not. Okay, and that's justified. And again, I'm not trying to change anybody's opinion, and I'm certainly not trying to preach. That is not what I'm trying to do at all. So I'll shut up now. See, I can rant too, Juno. Do you agree with what I'm saying, or or if you don't, please disagree with me. I love a healthy debate.
I'm just kind of like, I don't know about the thing with Superman, but the Fantastic Four, I'm kind of nifty about that. It's just because I'm used to seeing Silver Surfer as a
As a guy.
one dude,
Yeah, I get it.
or
But
I
again,
don't even know what gender it is because they don't show its
exactly. It's
privates.
not like his junk is hanging and swinging in the breeze, you know. But no,
Yeah.
in the comics, there are two versions of the Silver Surfer, a male and a female. So
Oh.
what they're doing is completely canon with the actual
Okay.
comics. But
Because I didn't.
unfortunately, a lot of people are like, they cast a woman, fucking Hollywood woke, and it's like,
Just like it's like the same thing with Captain Marvel. Like there's a guy for Captain Marvel.
yeah, yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, Shazam, people used to call Shazam Captain Marvel. They would
Shazam.
always get them confused, you know, and it's like, you know, I mean, okay, we're way offside track here, but okay. So, anyways, but no, Z, like I said, I agree with where you're coming from, you know, and
Yep.
so that new Predator movie looks like a joke. You know what? It kind of does, but at the same time, it might be fun. The
Yep.
Predator himself looks kind of funky, though. You know, maybe there's like different kinds of predators.
Yeah. Because I don't know if that's supposed to connect to the Alien show that's coming up or something. Because they're
I
doing
don't think
that.
so. I don't.
Because
It might. Who knows? Everything
out of
connects with everything now.
because they keep teasing that because they also said that they're gonna do AVP soon because that's like the upcoming titles.
Yeah. Resurrection County is a bloody good time. A must watch. I've never heard of that. Is that a movie? Is that a TV show? What is that, Sonny? Zodiac says, got to get the girl boss in the first story of the new Predator. You talking about the chick from Prey? I must have missed something.
Or the girl
Did
from
you like the
Predator.
cartoon, by the way? The Predator Killer
Oh,
Killers?
I only like two stories, but I didn't care for the first story.
Yeah,
But
the Viking
the
story was definitely the weakest.
yeah, but I did like the samurai one.
Yeah, I like the World War II one. I thought that one was really good.
And what's fucking great is they have Michael Bean in that one. So like fucking A, he's in Aliens, he's
Yep.
in Terminator, and now he's in fucking Predator
Yep.
franchise.
And I did like the way they kind of tied it all together at the end, you know, with the three stories and shit.
Yeah.
But
There
it
was
was interesting. I liked it. I didn't love
did
it, but
you
I liked it.
I don't know that they included an alternate ending, but they said that there's an alternate ending.
Who knows?
Well, because I did see a clip of it or something, and it was supposed to show not only the girl from Prey, but they were supposed to show Harrigan from Predator 2 and Dutch in those,
Well,
those things
yeah,
that they have in
yeah,
like tight tombs or something.
yeah. I heard that they were actually talking about bringing the Schwarzenegger character back into it
Yeah,
somehow. But again, that's exactly what we were talking about earlier, though. That would be fan service at this point. You know, an
yeah.
Easter egg for people to go, holy shit.
Because for
Sometimes that does work. I mean, I will admit, I fall for that shit sometimes.
ever since Predator 2, they wanted Schwarzenegger to come back.
Oh, I know. I know.
Yeah, even they did Predators with Robbie Rod. They wanted him in that one, and he
Here's
declined.
here's a good question for you, okay? Because I know you've seen all of the movies from both franchises, okay? Aliens movies, Predator movies. You can only pick one. What franchise are you going to go with?
Um,
And the AVP movies don't count; those are completely thrown out. So you got the Alien movies, which could include the Prometheus and the newer shit, and the Predator films. So, which one you got? Which one you want?
I would have to go with Aliens because I'm not really big on the recent Predator movies. So
Yeah,
I'm picking the Aliens because even though Romulus does have some flaws, like I'll admit there's some flaws to it, but I did like that Romulus movie a bit.
yeah. I would probably go with the same because I like all the Predator movies. Well, I don't like the Alien versus Predator movies at all. I don't like either one of them.
They fucked that up.
And The Predator was a missed opportunity. Although there
God
are moments in that movie I do like. Okay, I love when the kid blows those fucking assholes up with the mask or whatever. I thought that was pretty cool. But I like Prey. I know you're not a big fan of Prey, but I like Prey.
Yeah.
But overall, the Alien movies to me are better. The Predator franchise has a lot of this, a lot of highs and a lot of lows. Whereas the Alien movies, to me, I even like Alien 3. You know, I mean, I think Alien 3 is very underrated. To me, it's better than Resurrection. And I like Resurrection, you know, because Resurrection's just goofy. But in Romulus, like I said, I enjoyed Romulus. I just think it went a little bit overboard with the fan service, especially towards the end. I mean,
the ending's really
and then
weird.
they got to even tie in the fucking fan service from the Prometheus shit. And it's like, what the fuck, man? I mean, it's like, just, you know,
because like Romulus
and all that.
Romulus and Resurrection, it's just like the exact same fucking ending where you get this mongoloid fucking freak nature monster alien that we never seen before.
Ridiculous in Resurrection, although I will admit when it gets sucked out of the thing through the little hole, there is one moment that is kind of heartbreaking, you know, and it's like, oh, this is actually kind of sad, you know, but other than that, that whole deal with that fucking baby thing is just ridiculous in that movie. And that's more or less the same way I felt about the new one, except instead of the ridiculous alien looking baby, now it's the creepy engineer looking baby.
Yeah, mixed with something that looks like something out of Marilyn Manson or some shit mixed with engineer. Because he has like silver teeth or some shit. The beautiful people.
That's an image I won't be able to get out of my head anytime soon. Thanks a lot.
But yeah, I like the Predator, like the fourth one that Shane Black did that everybody pretty much didn't like. I would agree, like it did have potential, but there was many things that got fucked up wrong with that movie.
Yeah, like I said,
for
missed
once,
opportunity.
For once, they fucked up by changing everything in the movie, especially the way it ends, and they had to like delay the movie because it was supposed to come out during the summer, but it got delayed during the fall.
Yep. Yeah, it came out in September.
And everything was like CGI'd, and it looked fucking terrible. Yeah. Especially the 7 feet tall fucking bastard.
Yeah. Again, you know, there's missed opportunity. That's the only way I can describe that movie.
The one thing that really pisses me off is Thomas Jane being in that movie in a stupid role. It's just
the Tourette's.
Yeah, it's just like I would have preferred him as the lead because I didn't fucking care about the lead guy.
Oh,
I prefer
Holbrook or whatever his name is.
Yeah, he was the fucking shitty bad guy in Logan. That
I thought he was good in Logan.
Yeah, it's just I don't buy him as a fucking hero lead.
Yeah.
Like, because it just felt a little bit like meh. Like I didn't like him as a good guy. And there's Thomas Jane. You got the fucking Punisher to be the hero.
Right.
Instead, he's like, oh, eat your pussy. Which I guess that's supposed to be a reference to Hawkins saying that to Billy.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it.
Like, that's a bit of fan service, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very. I don't watch any new films. No originality at all. Just remakes and crap superhero films. Yeah, I know. Barry is not a fan of superhero films. Yeah. Texas says, do not watch it. I'm assuming he's talking about Happy Gilmore. Hello, Juno. Hey, Roy. How's it going, buddy? Blue Roy, all the way from the UK. I know Roy's in the UK. Yeah, he's awesome. Great guy. Greg says, there you go. Crappy Gilmore, too. Perfect.
Yep. Pile of dog shit.
Hoboken Hollow is based on a Texas slave ranch. Great film with Dennis Hopper. Never heard of it. Thank you for the recommendation. Appreciate it. Chester, today's movies doesn't feel like movies from the past. Same old crap, nothing Feel the same. Yeah. We're just all turning into a bunch of old people. Get off my lawn, except, Juno's in his 20s and he feels the same way. So I heard Happy Gilmore 2 was all right, but I don't believe that. Hey, set your boy straight there, Juno.
Yeah, it sucks, man. Like, you
And
want to be
Roy
pissed
says,
off. Yeah.
someone put Sandler out of his misery.
That tells me that he should just stick to serious shit. Like, just stay the fuck away from comedy and shit. Like,
Well,
it's
again,
just
since he got that Netflix deal, he can basically do whatever he wants with no, it was bad enough with the studio film. Jack and Jill. I mean, how do you come back from that? Well,
what
you
the
sign a
fuck.
fucking
Yeah.
$500 million deal with Netflix. That's how. So, yeah.
Now he's stuck with Netflix.
Yeah. Let's see here. How could you not hate Dumb and Dumber 2? I've never seen it, to be honest.
Oh, fuck that movie. I mentioned it like a couple times. It's a piece of
Dumb
shit.
and Dumberer is better than Dumb and Dumber 2. Yeah, haven't seen that one either. There should be a movie called Hobo Stew. Hate to say it, but I did like Hubie Halloween. That's a Sandler movie, if I'm not mistaken. And
Yeah.
again, hasn't seen it. Hobo Stew, Electric Boogaloo. Mike, the original Happy Gilmore was overrated. Billy Madison is the best movie Adam Sandler did. Thoughts? Okay, here's my thoughts. You're wrong, Mike, even though I love you. Because to me, Billy Madison is extremely overrated, and Happy Gilmore is the best movie he ever made. That's my thoughts.
Same opinion.
But to each his own. So
yeah, we're always to each their own.
And Barry is also not incorrect. Sandler films are utter garbage. Yeah, for the most part, I'm not a fan. There are exceptions, and Happy Gilmore is one of them. The original. I like Little Nicky, and most people don't. I think Little Nicky's funny as hell. Roy says, Tex, I couldn't put myself through Hubie. And Zodiac. Oh, yeah, they're talking about that other thing. Gotcha. And Texas says, I can understand not being able to get through it. And Roy agrees with you. Sandler can do decent, serious stuff, but his goofy stuff is awful.
Because that's the shit that I'm kind of like tired of. Like, because Kevin Smith, like, when he did that fucking Clerks 3, like, he was thinking of doing fucking Mallrats 2. And I'm like, and Universal said, no, we're not doing that. I'm glad they fucking said no to him because that's what these fucking sequels are. They're just going to be other shit.
Clerks 3 was so fucking bad. Oh, my God.
Depressing fucking movie, man.
And I love the original, too. The first one and the second one. I fucking adore both of them.
The second one had a heartfelt ending. Like, that was a fucking good ending.
My review of Clerks 2 when it came out was it's for a movie with a donkey show in it, it's got a heart of gold. Because it does. I mean, it's like, its brain is in the sewer, but its heart is in the right place. It really is. It's just,
Yeah.
And the whole scene where Randall makes the Star Wars guy fucking flip out, where they're arguing back and forth about Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, and oh my God.
The first movie, they're walking.
You want to see the second movie?
I like how the guy he's eating the food. He says, "Fucking A."
Even the trees walked in that fucking movie. Hoboken with a Shotgun is a Canadian film from Halifax, North Nova Scotia. What do you think of the movie Rounders? Have you seen Rounders?
Yeah. Isn't that
that
card movie with Matt Damon?
Matt Damon and what's his face?
Edward Norton.
Thank you. And Malkovich. I was actually thinking about John Malkovich.
Oh yeah, because Malkovich eats Oreos.
Great. Yeah, Malkovich is awesome in that movie.
He's eating Oreos during the card games. Great product placement.
Yeah, I like Rounders. I haven't seen it in years, but what the fuck is Hubie Halloween? Yeah, I think we already established that. Agreed, Roy. Agreed, Roy. Uncut Gems is great. I still haven't seen it.
Yeah, I, I would like to see Sandler keep doing those serious shit. Like the last movie that he did that was a good one was Spaceman. I remember watching that. I thought that was gonna be an average movie, but I actually liked that movie.
Is that the one
And
where he's got the giant bug from space or whatever?
yeah, and it's
Yeah, I
getting all
haven't seen it. I
fucking
saw the trailer
weird.
for it.
But what pisses me off is that that movie doesn't get nominated, but that stupid Amelia Perez piece of shit gets nominated. Like, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to get into that in a little while, too. I'm going to
Yep.
give you plenty of time because me, Sean, and Kenny already ranted about that shit at our show a long time ago. Especially
Oh god.
Kenny's thoughts on Honora are something to behold.
Yeah.
It was just like, Sean kind of liked it, but Frank or fucking Kenny was like, what? That movie fucking sucks. And I mean, Kenny's a good churchgoer. It takes him a lot for him to start going off, man. He hates that movie. Uncut Gems is Sandler's best dramatic movie. Punch Drunk Love 2. Okay. I don't like Paul Thomas Anderson, so I didn't like Punch Drunk Love, to be honest. But I know a lot of people love that movie, including Texas. So I have the Criterion Edition Blu-ray. Freebie and the Beans on Criterion? No shit. Oh, I got to check into that, man. Thank you, Sonny. If that's true, I'm definitely going to check into that. But again, I haven't seen that movie in years, but I loved it when I was a kid. Alien Nation was great. And yes, Alien Nation was a TV show on Fox. I believe it was on for 2 years. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was a film before the TV show. Yes, it was. Yes, Roy, which I like better, but I haven't seen the movie in years. Okay, talking about Alien Nation again. I'm way behind in the comments, everybody. Bear with me, Juno.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have Jungle Holocaust and Cannibal Holocaust by same director on Blu-ray. Yeah. I've never seen Jungle Holocaust, to be honest. And I'm not a huge fan of Cannibal Holocaust. Silver Surfer is a female now. Yeah, it's true, dude.
Yeah.
Again, it's part of the comics, and that comic came out in the 60s. So back then, they didn't know what the fuck woke was. So, I have no idea about Fantastic Four. It just surprised me. Yeah, like I said, Fantastic Four, I was never into comics, but Fantastic Four I actually did read when I was a kid because I just thought it was cool. It was a team, you know. So
I have seen the Fantastic Four movies, like all of them, including that fucking 2015 shit. I've seen that one, but that's fucking bad.
Now that I do agree with, Zeke. It's not pushing down your throat until you put it in every movie you release. Yeah, that I do agree, because there are certain movies that definitely have an agenda and definitely are trying to push that agenda. So I will, but that goes for both sides, because we'll just leave it for another day.
Like the Hellraiser movie, that actually surprised me because I actually thought that was going to be a piece of shit.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it.
But it recycled something from the novel, so like, oh shit.
Yeah, they changed it around a little bit, and I know people were bitching about the woman, Pinhead, and it was like, you know what? 5 minutes after she shows up in that movie, you forget about her being a woman. It's just a interpretation of a character. It's great.
It was like its own thing. Like it wasn't like trying to be better than Doug Brown. Like it wasn't going that way.
No, not at all. I actually prefer that movie over anything that came after Hell on Earth. The third movie. And I actually went out and bought that on bootleg Blu-ray because I wanted a copy of it. And I really enjoyed that movie.
That's a good one.
Fantastic Four You Never Saw by Roger Corman. Yeah, that thing's notorious. When Batman becomes a woman, are we still going to call? There's already a Batgirl. So, haven't heard of Silver Surfer until I watched the Breathless remake. Yep. And yes, there is a Wonder Man coming out as well. But again, that is also a comic. So, okay, we're getting way off track here. Z says, although Prey was awful too, the best part of Prey was the predator hunting rattlesnakes. That was badass. That was pretty fucking cool. I like Prey. I liked Prey mainly because it was different. And it wasn't so much, because it was a girl or this and that. I just liked the fact that it was, bows and arrows versus that shit. And you could tell it was an earlier version of the Predator too, because the technology wasn't as, like it is now. So
Yeah.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah. Just I'm a bit mixed on it, but like I could never get into it, but because I remember reviewing it, but like I don't hate it as much because I think the Predator, I think that's worse.
Yeah.
But it's just I have issues with some of it, like some of the CGI looks like crap.
Yeah.
Like the thing that kind of annoys me is the fucking parkour shit. Like that kind of doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But because like that wasn't even around back in that fucking time. All they had was tomahawks.
Dan is here. Hey, Dan, how's it going, buddy? Thank you so much for being here. And he says on that new Badlands trailer, the Predator looks too human, but we'll see what the context is. Yeah, he looks weird. I know it's supposed to be like a younger version, like a teenager Predator or whatever, but Texas, Roy, we need to talk about some of the punk bands you liked back in the day. Tex, I went to the Pistols 96 gig in Finsbury Park, London, one in the same day. Yeah, I bet. Z says Predator 1 and 2 and Predators are all badass. Yeah.
Those are great.
Absolutely.
Those are yeah.
Alien is a fantastic movie, but it's a little slow for me. I need explosions. Boom, 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 I guess. Well, see, Alien to me is a horror movie. Aliens is an action movie. They're totally different. And Z says Alien movies are better, but I get more out of the Predator films personally. Resurrection has a fucking badass cast, and it also has one of the greatest basketball shots of all time from Sigourney, which was absolutely real. So, wanted Dead or Alive with Gene Simmons and Flesh and Blood with, both of them. Flesh and Blood especially. I love that fucking movie. My buddy Sean on my channel with Kenny, he's a big fan of that movie. Let's see here. We're going to skip ahead, so if I miss anybody, I apologize, but I don't want to get too sidetracked. We're already way off topic here, and I got more questions for my buddy here. Okay, here's an interesting one. Sydney's here. Hello, Sydney. How are you, buddy? What films about mental illness hit you the hardest, if any? I know what my answer is. Anything for you?
I would have to probably say the probably Uncut Gems.
I'm sorry?
Uncut Gems.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Because that has fucking anxiety in that movie, and it puts you into a anxiety mental boost. Like, what the fuck? Like, he's doing all these fucking deals, and he's getting himself into deep shit. So like it's real life shit, because sometimes people do that with gambling and all this shit, and it puts you into an anxiety boost. So like, I would pick Uncut Gems because that gives you into that anxiety mood.
Nice. I gotta go with the movie that's turning 50 years old this year, and I saw it when I was a kid, and it just shattered me. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with Jack Nicholson. The ending of that movie, when they lobotomized Nicholson, it's just heartbreaking. It's just so great question. Great question, Sydney. Thank you so much for being here. I always appreciate your support. And you were talking about Beau is Afraid. Okay, thank you, Texas. Roy says he's only seen 2 2025 movies. Wow. I'm up to 21 now. And I know you see a lot of movies at the theater, Juno. Or the cinema, I should say, for our friends over in the UK. According to our friends in the UK, I say theater and theatrically way too much. To the point where they're making drinking games about it. That every time I say that shit, they take a drink, and then people are dying of alcohol poisoning over there. So that ain't good. Let's see here. Ellen says, there's just no originality or new ideas anymore. There's even talk about rebooting Indiana Jones. As we say in Ireland, you can fuck
Jesus
right off. They already
Christ.
rebooted Indiana Jones 30 years ago with the TV show, The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. I don't know if you even knew that existed.
No, I never knew about that. I only saw the movies.
The guy who one of the Boondock Saints, as a matter of fact, not the guy from The Walking Dead, but the other guy.
Sean Patrick Flanery?
Yes, he played young Indiana Jones. If I'm
Oh,
not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I might have him mixed up with somebody else. And it was
but
like him as like a teenager kid, you know.
because I think also in one of the, I think in the third one, they even had River Phoenix play a
Yeah,
young version
yeah.
too.
They did the TV show right around the time that Last Crusade came out, like a year or two after that.
Yeah, Crusade's my favorite. That's my
It's the
favorite in the
most fun.
series.
It's definitely
And
the most
Sean
fun.
Connery, fucking A. Yep.
But as far as not having any originality or new ideas, there is one movie coming out that me and Juno were just talking about before airtime that I've seen 3 trailers for, and I have no grasp of what that fucking plot is, but I am intrigued beyond belief. And I think it is going to be one of those totally original ideas. And that's for the movie Weapons, which is coming out, I believe, August 7th or something like that. It's like the first Friday of August, or maybe the second Friday of August. But that movie looks creepy as hell, man. And I definitely want to see that. So, let's see here. I think I've seen 2 Sandler films. That was enough for me. Love the Boogeyman, 1980. Yeah, where the mirror gets smashed and it's like little possessed pieces of mirrors. It's a weird fucking movie. Apparently, there could be a Billy Madison sequel coming out too. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Barry says another one I can't stand is Kevin Smith, which there's a lot of people that don't like Kevin Smith. I get it.
Yeah.
Roy says don't mind Kevin Smith. His stand-up Q&A shows are great. Absolutely. Those shows are friggin' hilarious. Okay, here's a good question. This one's for you, Juno. Greg wants to know: you ever walked out of a bad movie, Juno? Because I know you're always talking about walking out of movies. What was the last one you walked out of and got a refund for?
It was back in 2017, and it was Tom Cruise, The Fucking Mummy.
And is that the last one you walked out on, or is that the last one you got a refund for?
That was the last one I got a refund and walked out. I walked out like 35 minutes in, and I was like, fuck this movie. I got my money back, and I went like another day to use that money to watch something else that was better.
Yeah, shit. Anything's better than that. Watching fucking your dryer spin around in the laundromat is better than the fucking movie.
And because of that shit, because of that piece of shit, it bombed, and it actually made those Universal Monsters movies to not be made because of that piece of shit.
Yeah, the dark universe that they had planned.
Yeah,
but you know what? In a way, I'm kind of glad. In a way, I'm kind of glad because, again, those would have been like, to me, they would have been like Marvel films, where they were trying to create this like interconnecting universe of PG-13 horror films reimagined as action flicks. So I'm kind of glad that it didn't work out. Not to mention that I thought I have not seen The Wolfman that came out earlier this year. I've heard mixed things about that, but I love The Invisible Man that came out a couple of years ago with Elizabeth Moss.
Yeah,
and that movie never would have existed if the original Dark Universe would have came to fruition. So
that would have been PG-13.
Yeah,
like the fucking Mummy.
Yeah, that fucking movie, man, it's so bad.
Yeah, I walked out like that was a fucking terrible piece of shit.
Kenny thought Honora was like a Skinamax movie.
Pretty much.
It's like, ooh, I might have to watch that now. Sonny says werewolf film War is a great film. I've heard of that. I have not seen it. Jack Black is a complete and utter. Okay. Bellend.
Oh
Obviously,
fuck his
you don't
yeah.
like him.
Well, fuck his Minecraft movie. That's another piece of shit.
I've never watched it. I never will watch it.
What makes me mad is that like that motherfucker makes more money over shit that bomb like that are good movies. It's just like that fucking piece of shit makes the money. Minecraft.
Hey, whatever. Jack Black. I couldn't stand him in movies. Again, it depends on the movie. What was Jim Belushi's first film? I believe it was Thief. I'm pretty sure it was Thief. It was either Thief or yeah, it's got to be Thief.
Yeah, Jim Belushi's pretty good. Did you ever see The Principal? That's a good one.
Oh yeah, I saw that one again. Have a drink, Roy. Saw that one theatrically at my theater. I was working there at the time. School of Rock, utter tripe. I like School of Rock, but again, I'm a drummer, and I was a school age drummer, school band drummer, so I related to that movie. I really did. Greg says the earliest Jim Belushi was Trading Places. That's what I was thinking, but Thief came out a couple of years before that. So Barry says De Niro is another asshole. I could go on for. I love De Niro. I always separate artists from the art. What somebody says in the press, what somebody does in their own time, as long as they're not hurting anybody, I could care less. Like Kevin Spacey. I don't want to have a drink with the fucker, okay? But I still watch his movies. I still think he's a great actor, so. Watching Off Balance now, great movie. Favorite Diato movie? For me, it's House on the Edge of the Park. See, you're talking about stuff that I'm not familiar with, Daniel. House on the Edge of the Park is probably the only one I've seen.
Yeah, that one I would pick too, because I actually do enjoy that one.
Let's see here. I'm just going to scan through some stuff. Sonny agrees with me that Belushi's first one was Thief, so good. Jim's first film was Ben-Hur theatrically. Fuck you, Roy. My parents saw that shit like when they were dating, so that was 8 years before I was born, pal. Roy, great actor, just comes out with. Oh yeah, okay. Talking about De Niro, obviously. Let me skip through some of this stuff real quick. Oh, here we go. Double feature podcast is here. Hello, ladies. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. And apparently, they don't have a release of Uncut Gems over in the UK. That sucks. Sean, Birdie and Awakenings are the first two that popped into my mind about mental illness. Yeah, both of those are great movies. Real quick. Sorry, everybody. I know this is just gripping cinema to watch. Double feature says, wasn't a fan of the new Wolfman. They did a great job with the Invisible Man remake. Yeah, I have not seen the Wolfman. I've heard mixed things about it. Remember, Texas said that he thought it was okay. You didn't like it though, right?
Yeah, I was kind of mixed on it, but
yeah, I really enjoyed the Invisible Man. I thought that was great. Real quick. Just want to make sure I didn't miss. Oh, here we go. This is a good one from Sydney. Sydney wants to know: choose one, Jacob's Ladder or In the Mouth of Madness.
Fuck, those are good ones.
Yeah, I know what my answer is, and it's pretty easy, but
I would have to go with Jacob's Ladder because that one was fucking emotional, and Tim Robbins was robbed of a fucking Oscar for that. That motherfucker needed an Oscar for Best Actor.
Yep,
he was
agree.
Great.
I agree. Jacob's Ladder was phenomenal.
That's his best role. Definitely.
It's one of them. It's one of them. Yeah, I love that movie, and yeah, I made the mistake of seeing that movie tripping on acid at the cinema when it came out.
Holy shit!
First time in the subway with that thing.
Holy shit! That must have fucked it.
I was like, oh shit! At the end of Body Snatchers. Just
all that stuff that happens in the movie, that is fucking tripping. Like, that's not like That's like pre CGI. Like you're thinking that was CGI, but that's
Oh
fucking
no,
90s shit that
no,
they use practical.
that movie is so fucking creepy, man. I love it.
Holy shit.
Great question, Cindy. Thank you so much. And Roy, I wasn't even going to acknowledge this, but I will. Isn't a drummer a guy who hangs out with musicians? Yeah, fuck you. And Roy knows I love the guy, man. Me and Roy, we constantly take the piss out of each other. So, okay. Texas says Jacob's Ladder all day long. Awesome. And Sonny says the Principal K9 and Red Heat with Belushi. Out of those three, I prefer Red Heat the most. Red Heat, him and Schwarzenegger, man, that movie's fun. Cocaine.
Yeah. What's so funny is that they were in Jingle All the Way, but they were in a fucking R-rated movie called motherfucking Red Heat. That's awesome.
And Sean says, has anyone seen the Jacob's Ladder remake? I know it exists, but I have not seen it.
Fuck that pile of monkey shit.
Oh, no good?
Oh, god dang. Like, that's a remake where nobody doesn't even fucking remember. Like, you just said that you didn't ever seen it, Jim. Like, I avoided like the fucking plague. Like, that is a pile of shit remake that doesn't, it loses all the horrorness. It just becomes like a watered down piece of shit Shyamalan Ding Dong movie.
Shyamalan Ding Dong movie. I like that. Okay. We'll get back to the comments in a little bit, but I got a couple more games here. And the next one, which I have done with other people, best decade. And I will give you a genre. You tell me, in your opinion, what the best decade for that genre is. And you can go all the way back to the very beginning of cinema, all the way to the 20s now, which I know you won't, okay? But I have a feeling most of your answers will be like within a 30-year range of each other, like most. But again, off the top of your head, there's no right or wrong answers, okay? So, and tell me why your answer is what it is, okay? So, in your opinion, the best decade for comedy films?
I would have to go with 80s because that is a fucking decade because you got the Cheech and Chong movies that are fucking laugh out loud. You got other shit like Dead Heat, which is more like the sci-fi, but that also is a funny ass movie. And you got like other shit like the John Hughes movies. They're fucking great. Weird Science, like that fucking makes me laugh my ass off all the time. Especially the bar scene is fucking hilarious.
Let me tell you about my story, man. What did to me was these big titties she had going.
Crazy, insane.
I was nuts for the woman.
In the Family Jewels.
Best line in that movie is, "Are you all right? Well, my nuts are halfway up my ass, but other than that, I'm perfect." Okay. Best decade for action.
90s. Fuck
90s?
Yeah, because you got fucking action movies like Hard Target, Con Air, Lionheart, The Rock, Face Off, Broken Arrow, which is underrated as fuck. I like Broken Arrow. John Travolta as a fucking villain is great.
Yep.
And how Howie Long dies with his fucking scream is awesome.
Is so good. That's the Wilhelm scream for this generation. It really is.
Yep.
It's so good. Okay. This one might be a little difficult. Best decade for sci-fi.
Best decade for sci-fi. Would have to say probably 80s, because I would say 80s had the movies like The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, The Fly, the Blob remake. Even though I'd prefer the original, I would have to still mention the remake because that's still a fucking impactful movie.
Wait a minute, real quick, just so I heard you correctly. You prefer the original version of the Blob to the remake of the Blob?
Yeah,
I'm not going to pick on you.
I wanted
to make sure I heard that.
Because because I grew up with the original movie. Like I never was given to see the remake. We
Oh,
only
okay.
had the original on VHS. It was like an old Good Times VHS.
Oh, okay. I got you. I got you. I got you.
Yeah, because we never had the remake on VHS because Columbia did release that on VHS and we never had that. So like that's why I never saw the remake until
Gotcha.
like I got older.
Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense. All right, that makes
yeah.
sense.
But I
Yeah,
would mention the Blob remake and then the Life Force. You got to mention fucking Life Force.
yeah. Roy's a big fan of Life Force.
And then like there's even Aliens. You got to mention Aliens
Yeah.
and Terminator, especially the first one being fucking mixed with horror, but that is a great sci-fi film.
Absolutely. Best decade for animation.
Best decade for animation.
Yeah.
I would have to say probably the 90s
Okay.
because I like the movies like Beavis and Butthead Do America, South Park the movie, The Lion King, Toy Story, and the Iron
Iron
Giant was a
Giant.
good
I
one.
was gonna say the Iron Giant, man.
Yeah,
Right.
because I like that one and fucking Vin Diesel. Like I think that was one of his first movies or something.
It's one of his best movies.
Yeah, like because he's voicing the Iron Giant
Yep. Yeah. I dare somebody
before.
to watch that movie and not get a tear in their eye. I
Yeah, it
mean,
was
it's just.
Before that Groot
Yep.
character.
Yep. He was Superman before he was Groot.
Yep.
Okay. Best decade for horror. I know what the answer for this one's going to be.
I would have to say 70s fucking A.
Oh, you caught me off guard. I was waiting for the 80s. Okay. Fair enough. And why?
Because you got great films like The Exorcist, Suspiria, Alien, Amityville Horror, The Omen. You got Halloween, Black Christmas, the Lucio
Dawn of the
Fulci
Dead, man.
zombie, Dawn of
Dawn
the
of the
Dead,
Dead. You know?
and
It's like enough said. Dawn of the Dead.
also Phantasm. We can't forget about Phantasm.
Saw it at the drive-in, pal. With
Yeah,
Rock and Roll High School. That was a good double feature, man.
yeah. It's just that decade. I felt like had original movies right there. Like those were fucking golden eras right there.
Yeah. No. Good answer. I mean, yeah, most people have said 80s, but 70s has been like a close second to what people have
Like
answered, you know.
there's
So
even the 70s had a remake that was pretty solid, and that was Invasion by Snatchers with Donald Sutherland.
well, yeah. That movie
Yep.
traumatized me as an 11-year-old at the theater. I mean, just like I said, it's that ending to me is still one of the greatest endings of all time. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, it's
And
really
every time
good.
I've seen it, and I've seen that movie 100 times at least, every time I see it, I still get like the chill going down the spine when Sutherland just does that. You know, it's so good. Okay, very good, sir. Very good. Okay, real quickly here. Only seen the original Jacob's Ladder. Yeah, me too. And Melina says, Ollie is your next guest. Yes, you are correct. And we'll get to that later on in the show. But yes, my next guest is Ollie from Ollie Loves Movies, or Ollie Loves Films, rather. Turner and Hooch with Tom Hanks. I did not like that movie. All I remember about that movie is a lot of drool. Excuse me. Jacob's Bladder. Roy says, I love me a 30 screwball comedy. Sonny says, did you know Steven Spielberg directed the first episode of Columbo? No, I did not know that. I knew he directed Night Gallery, but did not know about Columbo. Thank you. Sydney, choose one. Training Day or Seven?
Fuck, but I would have to go with probably Training Day.
Yeah, I got to go with
I,
Seven.
I don't mind. I like Seven, but I just don't like the fucking shitty cry that fucking Brad Pitt does at the end. I think they should have fucking put tear ducts on his eyes to make him more fucking crying
I
his
don't know.
eyes out.
I actually thought he was pretty good in that scene. I love
But
that. I love Seven. I
yeah,
just
like you said, Kevin Spacey. Besides, he's whatever the fuck he did, he's a piece of shit. But I liked his performance too.
let's see here. Roy says, "Thanks for the entertainment, Jim, Juno, and fellow viewers. Look forward to talking Monday, Jim." Oh, awesome! Thank you so much, Roy. And yes, Monday I'm going to be joining Roy on a panel with some other people. I'll talk about that at the end of the show. But yeah, thank you, Roy. You're awesome, buddy. Trash Picture Show is here. Hey, how's it going there, Marty? I think we're finally caught up here. All right, cool. Awesome. All right. And yeah, we're jamming right along. So anybody who has any questions for Juno, now would be the time because we are coming up on it, but we're not done yet. How about here's another game that I like to play. It's called Desert Island Movies. You are trapped on a desert island. You cannot escape. But for some reason, this desert island has electricity, a TV, and a Blu-ray player. And you have 3 movies, and only 3 movies, to keep you occupied until the search party arrives. What are those 3 movies?
Those 3 movies. One will be The Boondock Saints. Second will be Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke. And third would be Hard Target.
Boudreaux. Okay. Now, you're still on that desert island, and for whatever reason, the TV took a shit. So you can't watch your movies. But luckily, the stereo still works, and you have 3 CDs. And they could be soundtracks, they could be greatest hits CD compilations, they could be studio albums, live albums, anything you want. What are your 3 desert island albums?
Well, my first album would be the soundtrack to Zombie from 1979, Lucio Fulci.
Dawn of the Dead. Oh,
yep.
Okay, yeah.
Or the zombie.
It's basically Goblin, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, without the eye or something they call it.
Yeah.
I would put that one as number 1. Number 2 would be the First Blood soundtrack.
Nice.
I like Jerry Goldsmith's music. His fucking music is always a badass to hear. And third would be the Red Hot Chili Peppers, the Californication album.
Oh yeah, solid album.
Yep.
I'm more partial to One Hot Minute, which most people don't like, but Californication's a great album. It really is. Sonny says Tangerine Dream made some great soundtracks. Absolutely. I mean, their soundtrack for Sorcerer is phenomenal. Yeah. It's just in Risky Business and so many others. So.
Near Dark, that's a good one.
Yeah. Near Dark needs a goddamn proper release in this country.
I don't know what the fuck is anybody doing with the rights to that movie.
I've been screaming for years, man. The 2 movies I wanted more than anything were Near Dark and The Hitcher. And The Hitcher finally got releases elsewhere, okay, but we were able to get them. But nobody's doing Near Dark, and it's driving me insane.
Well, what pisses me off is that Arrow is doing fucking Spawn and not Near Dark. Like, what the fuck? That piece of shit?
Yeah, don't even get me going with what the fuck Scream
Factory
really is going now.
Ooh. Yep.
Yeah. And again, the only Blu-ray you can get is that out-of-print piece of shit that looks like crap, and it's got a cover that looks like Twilight.
Yeah, that fucking Twilight piece of shit.
Oh my god, it's just... I refuse. I mean, I could get a copy for like $30 or whatever off of eBay, and it's like, no, fuck that. I will not do it. I got the DVD, and the DVD looks better than that shitty Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And at least the cover art looks good. It doesn't look like fucking Twilight, which I have never watched. So
Twilight's a piece of shit.
My wife likes those movies, And she watches them whenever they're on cable. Those are like her TV movies. She'll be flicking channels and, oh, Twilight's on. Regardless of what one it is. And I'll go in there and I'll see some sparkly fucking vampire, and I'm out. I just can't. I feel like a little bit of puke in the back of my throat. It offends me. All right, I'll shut up now. Broken Arrow is great. Excuse me. Love Near Dark, absolutely. Fabio Frizzi comp, Ennio Morricone comp, and Damage Done by Dark Tranquility. Oh, those must be the three titles and compilations, I'm assuming. Near Dark, to me, is better than The Lost Boys. Absolutely. Texas, I totally 100% agree. As a matter of fact, the only vampire modern, and by modern I mean within the last 50 years, vampire movie that I enjoy more than Near Dark is Fright Night. Because Fright Night's my favorite vampire movie of all time. But Near Dark is definitely right there behind it. Blow with Johnny Depp. His house has no movie stuff but all rock and roll stuff. That's a good movie. Blow. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Pee Wee Herman. He's great in that movie. Paul Rubens.
Yep.
Let's see here. Love Near Dark. Then Lost Boys. Yep. Alan says, always wish that Blu-ray or 4K collector's editions would include the CD soundtrack. Some do, but it's usually like some goofy limited edition type thing, And what really pisses me off is some companies now, they're not even releasing a Blu-ray unless it's part of a 4K combo. And it's like, what the fuck? I mean, and then, like, Sony, of all people, the people that invented the Blu-ray format, they just released that shitty movie Until Dawn, which didn't make a lot of money, but it's out on physical media now. But it's only available on DVD or the 4K Blu-ray combo pack. And if you go with the 4K, they're charging $50 for that fucking thing. It's not even a steelbook. It's just a basic release, and they're charging $49.95 for that shit. It's like, is anybody buying that shit?
And what's kind of fucking shitty about I'll admit, 4K looks nice, but it's kind of a fucking waste of money because you got all the fucking features on the Blu-ray disc.
Yeah.
And that's the shit you're gonna watch more because that has the fucking features, and the fucking 4K just has bullshit commentaries. That's it.
Yep.
So it feels like a waste of money. Like you're just gonna watch the Blu-ray because that has the fucking extras.
What gets me, okay, is again, and I've had this conversation before. The only 4K discs that I own are combos because I wanted the Blu-ray, and that was either A, the only way I could get it, or B, because it was cheaper to go that route than to just get the Blu-ray, for whatever reason, okay? But I'm not going to get another 4K player because, like I said, I've done this so many fucking times. Whereas if I go out and get a 4K player, I'm going to start all over again and upgrading all my fucking movies. And it's like, you know what? Enough's enough. Because as soon as I do that, they're going to come out with 8K or whatever K, sense around where it comes out and jerks you off while you're watching it. I don't fucking know. But
24K or some shit.
I might upgrade to that. But, but you know what I mean? I mean, I used to have, 1,500 movies on VHS. And then I had 1,000 movies on DVD. And now I've got 500, 600 movies on Blu-ray. And it's like, enough's enough, man. I'm too old. I ain't going through that shit anymore.
Yeah, it's just... And
not
also
to mention,
shit.
Blu-ray looks great.
Yeah,
It looks great. If you got a decent enough TV,
yeah,
Blu-ray looks great.
Like, for example, I have the Shit Factory collector's edition of Exorcist 3. Yeah. That looks fucking beautiful. And then I see that people are getting these fucking 4K copies of the Exorcist 3. And I'm like, the movie looks fucking good on Blu-ray. You don't need the fucking upgrade.
Yeah, I got that fucking Blu-ray. It is quite crisp.
Yeah, it looks like they just cleaned up the picture. It doesn't even look all fuzzy or grainy, all that shit.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, everybody, we got about 10 more minutes here. So if you have any other questions, please feel free. Real quickly, back to the comments here. Chester, John Carpenter had some great soundtrack scores in his movie. Absolutely. I've been plugging on Instagram. I've been plugging the show all week, and I've been dropping for the audio to go along with it. It's always been Carpenter shit, like Christine and Halloween and all that shit for you. So, because I know how much of a Carpenter guy you are. Here's a good Tim Thomerson, the dad in New York. Yeah, is an underrated character actor who's in some decent flicks, Zone Troopers, Delman, Trancers, Uncommon Valor. He is phenomenal as Charts.
Yep.
The helicopter pilot. He's great. Yeah. Tim Thomerson's one of those guys. I couldn't agree with you more, Sean. Every time I see him, I'm like, oh, it's Tim Thomerson. I love that guy. Even when he's in something shitty like Rhinestone. That movie's fucking horrible. He's the best thing about it.
But like when you mentioned Uncommon Valor, that's a great fucking movie, man.
Yes.
Like we did a watch party months ago with that one, and god dang, that was a good movie, man.
Yeah, I adore that movie. I absolutely adore that movie. Let's see here. Sonny says loves Trancers. Daniel says I agree. I don't own 4K, never will. There are way too many 4K snobs. Yep. Yeah, like I saw a video today where a guy was bitching about the thing that I just was about the Until Dawn thing. Okay, and he's a 4K guy, but even he was like, you know what? More people watch Blu-ray and DVD even than 4K. You know, so you could at least make it, you know, available for them. And the first guy in the fucking menu or comments was like, "What's the big deal? Everybody's already got 4K at this point, so who gives a shit?" And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Fuck you. Most people I know do not own a 4K player. They might have a 4K TV, but that doesn't mean they've got a 4K player. Most people don't even own a fucking Blu-ray player at this point, unless you're a collector like we are. Or they watch their shit through their gaming consoles, you know?
Like to me, I'm fine with the fucking DVD. Like people are like saying that, oh, this is pricey about the new Nightmare on Elm Street 4K set. I'm more fucking happy with the DVD shit of Nightmare on Elm Street, like that.
Yeah.
You know the snap case with the gray box with Freddy Krueger's on it, like that looks fucking cool.
That's what I still got. That original box set DVD with the little snap cases or whatever. Yeah.
With the fucking 3D glasses, it looks nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't own Nightmare on Elm Street, the original Elm Street, is my favorite slasher film of all time. It's my top 3 horror film of all time. Yeah. It's in there, okay?
I like that.
I do not own it on Blu-ray because, again, I refuse to buy that shitty fucking box set that's been out forever, okay? And now they're coming out with the 4Ks, but I have a feeling they're going to do the same shit that everybody else is doing. If you want those on, you know, a decent box set, you're going to need to buy it on 4K. And people are bitching about the box art. It's like, who gives a rat's fucking ass about the box art as long as the quality of the product is good?
Yeah, you know, a piece of shit.
You know, that's, I mean, I see people flipping out about, you know, what the cover art is. And it's like, you know what? Real movie lovers don't give a fuck about that. That's a collector as opposed to a movie lover. You know what I mean? I care about slipcovers and special packaging as much as the next guy. But at the end of the day, that's a fucking cherry on the sundae. I'm more interested in the fucking movie and the special features, like you said, you know, what's on that disc more than what's on the fucking cover. And
make sure the movies are not fucking disc replacement bullshit. Because that you have to fucking, that's the thing that we have to worry too, the most.
Yeah.
If they don't fuck up, because you don't want to have a fucked up disc and shit.
Yeah, and apparently now Scream Factory's not offering, when they fuck up, too bad. They're not offering like free replacement discs or whatever.
Yeah.
Since they got bought out. I don't know if that's true, but I've heard that from like more than one person. And if that's true, that's fucked up. I might not be buying anything brand new from Scream Factory for a long time, you know, which I might not be doing that anyways because they really suck now.
Because they got bought out by some jackholes or something.
Yeah, some big corporation. I know that.
And they're too fucking lazy that they want to re-release everything. but not have slip covers. But you gotta waste more money for the stupid fucking bundle for the new slip covers.
Yep.
Because I miss when you had the new artwork and then you had the reverse with new artwork
Yeah.
and original.
Yeah. Which
But now it's
Kino
just
still does for the most part.
yeah. But
And
it's just
I like Kino because Kino's cheap.
yeah,
They have sales constantly, you know?
they're more reasonable than fucking shit factory.
Yeah. Okay, well, we are really pushing up against it, so I'm going to go through these comments one more time before me and Juno finish our business here. Frank says, I will not spend that kind of money. Yep, I agree. Double feature, not all films need a 4K. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I have zero interest in 4K as well. It's really all about preference. Next guest is Ali. Yes, we will be talking about Ali momentarily. I need a region-free player. Yeah, me too, but if I did, my wife would divorce me because I would buy everything. So, I mean, I would literally buy everything. So, Carver is a gory good time. And let's see, I have unfortunately sat through all that Twilight shite because of the wife, and I hated every second. Ooh, that's good information to have, Barry. Thank you so much. Barry's constantly giving me shit about superhero shit and Dirty Dancing and all that shit. Now I got some ammunition because at least I've never watched Twilight. So, hey, on that note, we are coming up on the 2 hour mark. But before we go, I want to give Juno an opportunity to plug anything he's got coming up on his channel or any collaborations he might have on anybody else's channel coming up. By all means, sir, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Yeah, I'm gonna be taking a 2 week break for personal reasons, but I'll be back in like 2 weeks, folks, with Texas on the streams.
Awesome.
But I'll try to like see if I could get a chance to upload some videos. But if not, I'll be back in like 2 weeks. But I'm taking a little bit of a break and taking like some personal issues.
Outstanding. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but either way, I hope you enjoy your time off. You know, well-deserved rest. So good for you. Real quickly, because I just saw he popped in. Corey's there. Hey, Corey, how you doing? Sorry I'm so late. We'll check out the replay for sure. No problem, Corey. But real quick, Corey, before the show's over, I was going to ask you. You said yesterday on your chat you were going to go see Fantastic Four today. Did you do that? And if you did, how was it? Okay, let me get that off the screen real quick. But no, like I said, I hope, you said it's for personal reasons. I hope nothing's wrong, but if it is, hopefully it's nothing serious. But regardless, recharge your batteries. You well deserved. So I hope you enjoy your time off. And before we go, I also want to, because I'm a whore, I'm going to plug my shit like I always do. The very next episode of Shooting the Shit with Jim, which will be episode 16, will be 2 weeks from today, August 9th. And my very special guest will be Ollie from Ollie Loves Films, all the way from the UK. I'm going to leave his links in the description for this once this goes on replay. He's a young guy. He might even be a little bit younger than you, Juno. So, I'm trying to get to this youth demographic now, I guess. But anyways, Ollie's got a really great channel. He's just started a couple of months ago. He's a great guy. He knows a lot about movies, and he hosts a podcast or a live stream every Monday called Live Stream with the Loons. And I have been on that live stream a couple of times, and I will be on that live stream tomorrow, as a matter of fact, with Roy from Blue Roy Movies, who was in the chat earlier. And you can find that channel or that podcast on Ollie's channel, and I will leave the links for that. And that show will start at 1:00, same time as this show, actually, on Monday. So hopefully you can tune into Ollie's channel and join us for that. I also want to mention, as I mentioned earlier, that the next episode of Talking Movies with Sean, Kenny, and Jim will be Tuesday night, the 29th of July at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, live on either the Talking Movies 2024 channel or Sean's channel at Movie Assault. We will be joined by Sean's lovely wife, Lori, who I've never met, never talked to, so I'm going to have to be on my best behavior. Unlike being on my channel where I can say whatever the fuck I want. But anyways, Lori is, I'm sure, a wonderful person. We're looking forward to talking with her. We're going to be covering John Hughes movies. That was her idea. She loves John Hughes, And who doesn't love John Hughes? He basically made movies for an entire generation. Real quickly, what's your favorite John Hughes movie, Juno?
Weird Science.
I thought so because you were talking about Weird Science so much. But yeah, Weird
Yeah.
Science is it's so funny.
It,
But we're going to be covering the John Hughes movies on that show. And again, hopefully some of you, or if not all of you, could join us at that point. And again, you can watch that live or on replay, either on
Yep.
Sean's channel at Movie Assault or on the Talking Movies with Sean, Kenny, and Jim channel, which is at Talking Movies 2024. At this point, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today. This was a great show, as I knew it would be. I especially want to thank Juno for being here.
Yep.
Juno, this was awesome, buddy, and
Yep.
I hope that you will come back at a future time.
I
Maybe
will.
we can get you back on with your partner in crime, Texas, and we can have like a little mini Junexus show
Yep.
here,
And
and I can fuck with both of you live.
plus fuck Halloween Ends. That's a steaming
yeah, we didn't even
pile
get
of
into
shit.
Halloween Ends yet, but you know, but yeah,
Fucking horse shit.
Evil dies tonight. No, it should have died before that because that fucking movie is an abomination.
Yeah, that fucking shit is a pile of manure, asshole, and yeah, it's just dumpster shit.
Yeah, dumpster shit's a good way of putting it. But anyways, everybody, again, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me and Juno this week. This was a blast, Juno. And again, thank you so much, my friend, for being here. Again, the invitation is definitely open to come back at a later time.
Thank you.
So on that, we're gonna call it a day, everybody. I hope everybody has a great weekend. We'll catch you on the next one, everybody. Take care.